We're back, people, and today we're going to film on Chop Robinson, Miami Dolphins edge defender. Through his first 2 weeks, especially the Bills games, I feel like you got to actually see the potential flash in as a pass rusher. You could see that he really used his speed to power very well, and he had a tough matchup. Like, Deion Dawkins is a very good player and had a very good, strong start to the season. And Chop was kind of putting on skates at time. He required a little bit of help. I think him taking the next step is absolutely huge because the Dolphins are really not getting much pass rush up front other than from Jalen Phillips on a consistent basis. And he also, brings some value on those twists in stunt game. You can just see the shock in his hands. Like, if he just adds a little more to the bag there, gets a little more comfortable, I think, it's showing that he's getting more attention too. With Phillips getting so much double teams, like, he's going to get some one-on-one. So I really do think Chop taking that next step and being used in a more versatile way too, like standing up an obvious pass rush situation in the A-gap, things like that, can really, really help out the Dolphins defense. Like here, you can tell because he's been getting some attention in certain games, and you can tell by how offensive linemen play him that they know how explosive he is, and they're scared. Like, look at Dawkins' split here compared to the rest of the line. It's a super wide split, so he can kind of cut off Chop as quick as possible. Definitely prepared for the speed, so Chop just really does a great job of using that lower leverage right there. He gets a little bit too low because he kind of loses his balance, but you can just see the flash here. Shows like flashing like he's going to get to the outside, and then boom. Use that long arm, left hand into the chest. Really good pad level, low leverage, and then use that power. Kind of lose the Dawkins is a good response there to swipe down, which gets Chop to fall. But he's able to get that pressure on Allen. Allen's not able to step into throw. It wasn't completed down the sideline. But Chop being able to get some one-on-ones and win one-on-ones will be huge for this defense because they're really not getting much from anywhere else. It's really been Phillips, and then Sealer's had some nice plays. The other ones have all been created by schematic pressures, getting twists and stunts like that. So I think Chop showing this stuff is really, really nice. You can see the power, gets him to open up. Clearly the only one getting there pretty quickly. It just needs to become on a more consistent basis. He needs to have a little more move to his game because there's other ways he can win. We've seen it in college, but he hasn't really showed that yet. He's really only used speed to power. And I think it's because of how the offensive linemen are playing him. Like, they're clearly scared of the speed. Here you get to see like Chop on the stunts. This is what I want to see more of. Whether he's on the outside or the inside. I love this because look at, like, Phillips is to the side of the field. They come out with 3 edges. They're showing long up front too. They flash a lot of people to this side. So they know when Phillips over here, Sealer, Brooks is showing he's going to blitz, they're probably going to get this slide to their side. Sealer takes on a guy, Phillips does too, and Chop's able to loop around all of them. Sealer wins his battle, and Chop just is able to close. It forces Allen to escape the pocket and gives them, like, it just gives, like, Chop such a good angle to work towards Allen and force that quick throw away. Because sometimes he would escape the pocket, just have so much room to work with. And I really like getting, Robinson and just the whole defense. I like having Phillips align on the same side of the field as Chop because it really just demands attention. And you can now work other things off of this, like potentially blitz to this side, maybe even Brooks late blitz while Long drops into coverage like this. Definitely so many different potentials to work off of that. So I'm excited to see how Weaver continues to utilize those things throughout the year because Chop definitely is showing some potential. Like, here's another example of him creating a push versus Dawkins. Like, he gives you those little different moves. He gives you a little bit of a shake here. He's clearly rushing with a plan. Like, he's trying to shake you. He thinks he might try to win to the inside, but 76 actually comes off and helps. This is why Chop kind of loses his battle. But he creates a push on Dawkins. Unfortunately, he gets double teamed there and gets put to the ground late. But you can see the potential with the shock in his hands. Like, he pushes Dawkins back multiple steps. Like, look when he engages with Dawkins right there. He pushes Dawkins all the way back. Like, literally takes like 5 steps. So it's pretty impressive what he's been able to do in like those one-on-ones. He just has to stay on his feet, I think, better overall. Because he's still losing his balance even before the double team. So I think he's playing with a little bit too low of leverage. And the tackle's doing a good job kind of, with his hands to keep him down. So as long as I think Chop can start showing more moves around the edge. Dawkins is clearly not trying to get beat around the arc like that. So that's why Chop's kind of trying to use that. But I would have liked to see like maybe some counter to the inside. Be a little bit better with his hand usage, that type of thing. Not just straight, always going for the speed to power right away. This was another example of them trying to like work a stunt. Ends up being like a play action. Chop's just working off the inside. Things get a little muddied. I think Chop is a little lost at this point in the play. Not exactly sure just because of how the O-line's playing it, but then he feels the running back sneak out of the backfield, and then look at the closing speed. Just the burst speed, athleticism. Getting him out in space with these angles, it just worked out perfectly in this situation, and Chop holds that, for a tackle for a loss, which is really, really nice. So he was making plays that weren't just like pure pass rush either, where he's just getting pressures. We just need to see him finish, because he's getting closer and closer, and I think it's going to happen in different situations, because like this was a very good offensive line, and it's also very difficult to sack Josh Allen. So I think once he becomes a little more comfortable and we get a little better matchups, Chop's going to start to take off, and I think that would be huge for the defense, especially once you get Chubb back too, because I think that's kind of a big thing the defense is missing, is consistent pressure up front, and that will help everything across the board. It'll make life easier on the linebackers, make life easier on the defensive backs, so that will be like a huge bonus. Here was in this Jags game. I have a couple clips from here. Just another example of speed to power. Like, look, like he really does a great job with his speed to power, his leverage. Like, he's not the biggest guy, and he just really knows how to combine like his momentum, get into the body of this tackle. Like, he has short arms, but he's going to create that push, forces it back into it. Unfortunately, like, he forces Trevor to step up, but with how the rest of the D line's moving, like they're knifing here, no one's able to loop across. I think they were supposed to switch here. Like, Steeler crashes down. I think 95 is supposed to loop. So Chop does his job. Like, he's supposed to do speed to power here because they're doing a stunt up front, but 95 gets stuck and isn't able to loop around. If he's able to loop around and like times this up, then Trevor probably would have stepped right up into 95, but he's late on his loop, and now Trevor's able to get up and get 6 yards there for a rush gain. But this is the type of play that I like to see. Like, this is a good rep by him. If everything else is doing their job up front, like, he would be the one that would have created some pressure in the face of Lawrence there, which would have been very nice. Here's another example, him getting chipped here. This happened a couple times too. Like, he has gotten some attention. It's not just pure one-on-ones. But you can see the power in his hands. Look at the shock here. This is with no momentum either. Like, he gets chipped, gets into the tackle, Cam Robinson, and just boom, throws him to the ground. Like, literally knocks him straight to the ground with the shock in his hands right there. So very impressive from Chop. Jalen Phillips gets the pressure, wins his one-on-one because he wasn't getting chipped by a tight end that play. Very, very awesome to see. So I think the defense will be better. The Bills game was tough. They weren't put in too many advantageous positions just overall in the game. Here, Chop tries to win to the outside and then do like a hump move. Just a little bit off. Like, I like him dipping underneath. Dawkins is so wide, man. Like, he was playing such wide splits versus Chop and not as much versus the other guys that he went against. And he almost gets back on the inside path. He dips underneath, super low. Dawkins potentially could have got called for a hold here. It's not like a guaranteed hold, but he's wrapped around him. I think Chop's trying to throw him off and get back to the inside, but his head's like stuck in like the armpit of Dawkins, which is unfortunate. But he is showing some flashes here, things that you like. Doesn't necessarily get the win on the rep. He also demands attention from the guard to come help him too again. So just multiple guys' bodies getting on top of him. Just a great play by the Bills offense. And then here's a rep versus the run where he made a pretty nice play, getting across the face. Like, they come out with 6 linemen and a tight end to his side. They're trying to double team him here. He doesn't allow the tight end to cut him off. Keeps straining through it, gets on the backside, and then him and Ramsey make the tackle at the line of scrimmage. That was nice to see, making a pretty solid play versus the run. Now, I wouldn't say he's really impressed me versus the run. There hasn't been like too many like terrible plays. Like, I haven't seen any plays where I'm like, oh, that was just a really bad run defense play. He just hasn't made like too much of an impact there. But like, overall, I think the flashes as a pass rusher is there. He clearly has a way that he can win, and there's ways that he can be schemed up to help the defense too on those twists and stunts. He can use speed to power. I just think when he can start using more of that bend and burst to win around the edge, and then use the counters to the inside, just quickness, and then maybe aligning him on the inside, I think will really help take his game to another level. So, still a rookie, getting used to the new defense, new NFL, obviously. So, just a little bit of a slower start, but clearly has shown that he can make some plays, and I do think Chop will be better for this defense, and it'll be very, very important because the defense needs to carry this team for the foreseeable future, at least a few weeks. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.